Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be reacting to the story of Simon underscore 12. You're my secret brother. This is like part 3, the final one, so yeah.
Though this video was short, we get important information on Simon's motives. Realistically,
Ooh.
why would you put yourself through all of this? Wouldn't it be easier to leave and make a new world? Well, Simon's messages implies that he wants to leave the world, but the dragon. Simon doesn't want to leave his world because he wants to beat the dragon. And maybe
Bro
he
wants to beat
doesn't
the
want to
dragon.
restart his world because he's never gotten this far. In his first video, he was mentioning to us how he's never beaten the game before. So if he's gotten this far, he isn't going to let some entity stop his progress. But we need to move on to the next video, which takes place on the 7th of October. There seems to be a conversation going on between Simon and Angelo. We even see
It's the
Angelo
fake
6 seconds into the
Angelo.
video, but unfortunately this isn't the same Angelo that was captured by the
That's
entity.
what
This
I'm
video
saying.
seems to take place on the 10th of October, recorded before Simon's first ever video, meaning this footage must be a recap of the past. Simon throws an Eye of Ender, so we know they're planning on heading to the stronghold. They eventually find the stronghold and start digging down. When they arrive, they start looking for the end room, but Angelo's behavior is very odd. He keeps trying to get away from Simon and hiding from him. Eventually, Simon loses him and is forced to look for the end room himself. Eventually, the video cuts and Simon ends up finding the end room, but with Angelo standing right by the entrance. Angelo places down a sign and it says,
"Happy birthday, dummy."
Then Angelo places a diamond block. Simon's very happy, and as he mines the diamond
Whoa,
block, the video
thanks.
ends. This video happens to be the strangest out of any other video we've watched,
I
we
think
just
it
don't
got
realize. For
distorted.
one, Simon stated he's never beaten the dragon before, but in this video, Angelo and Simon are in the process of almost beating the dragon. Was Simon lying, or is there more to the picture? Well, we can tell Simon is the only one with Eyes of Enders because he seems to be the only one throwing them, but he only has two, which isn't enough to fill in an Ender portal. After the recording ended, they probably realized they couldn't go into the end and just gave up. And Angelo celebrating Simon's birthday could relate to his birthday video, but I'll get back to that later. Also, something I want to point out is this video's abrupt ending. When Simon mines the block, it cuts, but not only
It
that,
got
if you pay close
distorted.
attention, you can see the video quality starts breaking before it ends. In fact, this happens 5 times throughout the whole series. 2 times in Y512, 2 times in Birthday, and 1 time in the most recent video. There is definitely a deeper meaning to this. We've seen cuts happen without the screen breaking down, but these abnormal cuts only happen in significant moments of the story. In Y512, the screen cuts as soon as the entity starts breaking blocks. In Birthday, the 2 times the cut happens are both when the structure is fully built. Does this evidence actually prove anything? Unfortunately, no, but with 2 episodes left, we are getting closer to the answer. The next video is titled Question Marks. It appears to be up to date with the rest of the playlist. Simon is heading to the stronghold, this time alone. We eventually see Simon stumble upon the same area we saw last episode, although for some reason Simon is searching for the stronghold as if he doesn't remember going with Angelo. Simon gets the achievement for finding the stronghold a second time, meaning he must be playing in a different world. This time he's ready as he finds the end room and lights up the portal. When he enters into the end, it seems to be a normal end fight and Simon is finally ready to end the series. But then at 4 minutes and 15 seconds, we get this.
Oh, come on, he doesn't have a water bucket. What? What else?
The dragon just disappears. Simon confusingly walks around, doesn't know what to make of the situation, so he quickly ends the video. In 0-00, the video continues where we left off. Simon is trying to understand what's happening, but all of a sudden, the bedrock platform disappears. A few seconds later, air pockets can be seen all throughout the island. Then, a few more seconds later, the air pockets get bigger, and in a matter of moments, the island is slowly breaking down. Simon climbs up a pillar, and in the span of 30 seconds, he sees the entire end island gone. Simon climbs to the top of the pillar, and after a while of silence, he realizes a pillar disappears, and then another one, and another one, and eventually all that's left is Simon in the middle of the void. Then we see Angelo join the game.
Angelo,
Wait, where's the real
do you
one?
see this?
As Simon is trying to understand the situation, this happens. Simon then cuts to him dragging a file to the recycle bin, and that's where the video cuts off. What did he drag into the recycle bin? It was most likely his world file. This theory will make sense in a bit, meaning the entity had succeeded in scaring Simon off and finally got what he wanted. We also see Angelo for the first time in a while. Simon's message saying, "Where have you been?" implies that Simon hasn't seen Angelo since he was taken, but Angelo doesn't say anything. In fact, it was quite creepy how Angelo just said nothing to Simon. Where did Angelo go? Why is he acting different? If we want to know, we have to finish the final episode. The video cuts to Simon joining a server with Angelo.
Haha, you got out too?
This clip seems to take place a while after everything that had went down. What they're talking about is unknown at the moment.
Yeah, it's noisy. I don't even know them.
But then Angelo says,
Yo, I saw the videos. Sorry I didn't believe you.
the video that Angelo could be referring to are the videos of Simon encountering the entity. Maybe Angelo never believed him until Simon showed him proof. Simon says nothing bad's happened after that moment, and Angelo insists on celebrating. They grab themselves fireworks, and Simon says Happy New Year's as he lights off the fireworks, which means this video takes place on New Year's. But then the conversation gets interesting.
That lamp you gave me just turned off. The one by my bed. What lamp?
The video then cuts to Simon on his desktop again with his recycle bin open, hovering over a file that says Beating the Ender Dragon, the same name we see when Simon shows his world menu. He clicks restore, and that's where the
Wait, I need to see the numbers. Come on.
video ends. In the beginning of the video, the conversation Angelo and Simon were talking about was most likely a New Year's party. Simon also tells Angelo that the lamp Angelo gave him just turned off, but Angelo says he never got him a lamp. He even mentions that this lamp happens to sit by his bed, the same lamp that Simon put next to his bed, which means Simon was building his house based off his room. But then a sign is placed right in front of him saying, Simon says, "My base is my bedroom." How could the entity have known that? In fact, why does Simon decide to restore the world that he was tormented in? Isn't it funny how Angelo and Simon both entered the stronghold, but for some reason Simon's the only one who gets the achievement for finding it for the first time? Oh, but Render, Angelo planned this to surprise Simon for his birthday. Okay, but strongholds don't have spruce planks in the corner of their room. Why is it there? In fact, why does this match with the spruce plank that we see in the episode Birthday, where underneath was a structure that's used to summon the alternate herobrine is being built? Why does Angelo need that? Isn't it funny how Angelo was the same person who made Simon build this structure and caused all of this in the first place? Also, why do you need footage of what happened to Simon to believe that he was being haunted? You got kidnapped by this entity. That should be more than enough evidence. Isn't it also interesting how this entity has the ability to go into single player games and turn into an invisible player? What are the chances he can't just type in chat and use a different name? What are the chances that the Angelo we've seen in every video never existed? In fact, the only time we have actually ever seen Angelo was in Simon's wallpaper, where XX Angelo XX322 was his real name. In the other videos, we've seen names like XX Angelo XX233 and
Oh
XX
my god,
Angelo
oh my fucking god.
233. Why are there different names? What are the chances that Simon never got his friend back? Which is why he's restoring the world to go back and save him. What are the chances that Angelo never came back and this alternate herobrine never left?
This shit is so peak. That's all that we have. Seriously, another part. I'll react to this, okay? Hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you want. And adios amigos.